Hey everyone, Amanda Mazey here with Country Roads Trust. Joining me is Tre Mitchell, WVU men's basketball player. Tre, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Here we are in a team theater. Not a bad little place to
Yeah.
break down some film.
Nice little setup.
Yeah. All right, so let's go Tre Mitchell, the kid. Okay, take me all the way back to your first memory of basketball.
My first memory's got to be when I used to live in this place called White Oak. It's right close to where I grew up. Spent a couple years there, and it was just me and my friends. Like we were all on the same like rec team, and it's just good memories out there. Like just walking into the old gym just kind of gives you that little like hairs start standing up. You get the goosebumps just from everything that's went on there, because that's kind of really where everything started for me.
Do you know about how old you were?
I was probably about 9 or 10.
9 or 10.
Yeah.
But you dabbled in a lot of sports. Your mama said, play everything, see what sticks out. So tell me what else you played growing up.
I pretty much tried it all. Soccer, hockey for a little bit, football. I was really good at baseball. That was a big decision. It was between baseball and basketball for me, but obviously I was a little bigger, so I went the basketball route.
Let's talk about hockey for a second, because obviously you have the build for the other sports, but hockey, you don't really think of like a tall guy,
Yeah.
but you said you played goalie.
Yeah, I was just a really big kid, so it was like it just made my friends all played hockey, so it just made sense. And I went out there, I played. Obviously, I didn't necessarily want to be in goalie all the time, and I didn't have to be all the time. I was out on the wing sometimes, but it was almost impossible to get a puck past a 6'3", 14-year-old.
Yeah,
Like,
6'3", fifth grade.
like it wasn't that easy. So, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool, because I feel like a lot of people nowadays a lot of parents think, oh, you have to specialize in one sport. And you have all this athletic background that probably makes you just a better basketball player today. The fact that you did play football and hockey and baseball. I mean, do you feel that way? Like just being able to take all of those skills and kind of put it in this package?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of skills that you can hone from other sports. For hockey, for me and goalie, that's just that hand-eye coordination, quick reflexes. Same for baseball. First base, catcher, pitcher, like those are three positions where you're involved a lot. You have to make a lot of reads. And it was just, I think the more you're able to kind of venture out there, you are able to pick up bits and pieces, and you see the bits and pieces, and you can kind of hone those together to do whatever it is you want to do, regardless of the sport.
Right, for sure. So you said you really liked baseball. You kind of had to make that decision. What was it about basketball that you said, okay, this is going to be my sport?
There was just another love for the game. It was just like I couldn't stay away from it. Like regardless of what other sport was in season, I always found the basketball in my hands, and naturally it was something that I was good at. And when it came time to make decision, it was a pretty easy one for me, because it was something I loved to do all the time.
At what point did you realize that you were playing at a different level, that, oh, maybe I could go play in college? Like, was there a point, was there a coach, was there something that just kind of clicked? Because, I mean, you can be good in high school, obviously. There are a lot of great high school players, but that doesn't translate onto college.
Yeah.
So was there a moment or a coach or something that kind of said, hey, Tre, you've got something special here. You could go to college and play basketball?
I'd have to give that to my prep school coach, Tony Bergeron, because before that, I would say I didn't take basketball like completely serious. Like it was just something that I did in my free time. But once I got to prep school and I was a 16-year-old playing against like 18, 19 postgraduates, and seeing myself compete against them, and then like coach just kind of pulled me aside and was like, I've seen a lot of dudes. You have a legitimate shot at this if you take the time and really get better. And from that day, he's pushed me to a level that is unmatchable by any other coach I've been coached by.
Talk about that decision to go to prep school, because you went 2 years in high school where you grew up in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Elizabeth Forward.
Elizabeth. Yeah. So you grew up there, and then you decided to go to a prep school. That's a big decision. You're leaving your friends. You're leaving your family. Why? Why was that something that you felt like you had to do? And how did that all come about?
Okay, so my freshman year of high school, it was probably between my freshman and sophomore where I went and played my freshman year, was on the varsity team, started from the beginning, and then that summer going into my sophomore year, I put a lot of time in the gym, and I really developed my craft. And then it's like I came back to high school ball for that year too, and as the year went on, I kind of felt like I digressed in a way of everything that I put in over the summer, whether that be due to practices, competition level, whatever you want to put it on. But I just decided that I needed to move. I had to go somewhere, somehow. And I found out about the whole prep school situation through AAU and my coaches there. So they kind of took me to a couple of different schools, let me see what was going on. And when I went to Woodstock in Connecticut, it was almost like it just felt right inside. Like from the moment I stepped on the campus, it was just like, okay, like this is the next step for me. I know that there's things I'm gonna have to sacrifice, but if I want to be successful, that's something I'm gonna have to do, and that's what I did.
I know the answer to this question, but was it worth it, all those sacrifices?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're in prep school, you're being recruited, you go to UMass. Talk about that decision. What was it about that program that appealed to you as opposed to the other programs that were recruiting you?
So coming out of high school, I knew that I wanted to be an immediate impact wherever I went. And the reality of the situation is, as a freshman at a conference like this in the Big 12, that's not something that's easy to do, to come in and make an immediate impact, whether that be from simply because you come out of high school and coaches are like, you don't really understand how quick and aggressive the Big 12 really is. I had the high major offers like to any conference, but at the end of the day, when I went to UMass, I saw an opportunity that was just like no other. It was like, this is a place I can come and make an immediate impact, make a name for myself, hopefully help turn the program around for myself, create a little bit of buzz. And that's what I did. I enjoyed both of my years there, all the people I met, all the things I experienced, the way I grew on and off the court. But I guess that was kind of similar to high school. After that second year, I knew it was time for me to kind of move on and do a little bit more.
It's kind of interesting because I feel like a lot of athletes now, they want to go to those big name programs,
Yeah.
right? But you're right. I mean, you can go to a big name program, but if you ride the bench because you're just not ready, you're not developing. So a lot of times kids, I want to think that they start out here, but then they kind of throughout their career go to programs maybe less because they realize they're going to get more playing time. So you kind of did it the opposite way, which I think in a lot of ways is very mature, that you said, okay, let's go here, and you did really well at UMass.
Yeah.
When that decision came to leave, I imagine that was hard.
Yeah, it was difficult, but like at the same time, like I said, it was something that I knew inside that it was time, because I put the work in and I developed my game so much, and I knew that at that point I was ready for another challenge, something bigger, and as we see it's working out in the right way, so I'm doing something right.
Right. So then you go off to Texas. What kind of adjustment was that from UMass to Texas, where that's some big time basketball?
I would say that it wasn't the biggest adjustment was probably just the work ethic of the people around me, because I felt like sometimes at UMass that it was times where I was the only one that was really doing that little bit of extra stuff to get to where I wanted to be, where I went to Texas and I was surrounded by a bunch of like-minded people that all wanted to improve their craft and all want to make something of themselves. So it was good in that sense, where I had people around me that always want to work and always want to go get after it. So it just helped me kind of get outside of my own comfort level and push myself even more.
And then you came to West Virginia, so you've bounced around, and it's kind of funny because you've come full circle. So you're closest to home than you have been since you played high school.
Yeah.
Kind of, do you ever think about that? Like, gosh, you've had to go all around the country to get within, a couple hours of being home, maybe, something like that?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. But then again, I think that God works in miraculous ways, and I think that me sacrificing those friendships and some of those experiences with my family in the front end is now coming back to me on the back end. I'm an hour away from home. My family could come see me play, and those people that haven't seen me play since I was a sophomore in high school have the opportunity to come out here and show face, and I'm more than happy to see them again. You know, it's just a matter of we've lost connection at some point, but it kind of comes full circle, and it's a blessing in disguise.
When you are a player that transfers out of a program, are your teammates pissed at you? Do you have any guys that are like, I don't want to talk to you anymore?
I don't think so, but I mean, obviously there could be that in like the back of some people's heads, but for me, I think that comes more down to a character thing, because I don't think I'm not a malicious dude like off the court or anything like that. Like, I always want to see people succeed. Like, even those dudes at Texas that we have parted ways, like I still support them behind the scenes. Like I'm still rooting for them. I'm still in their corner because I've seen the work those dudes have put in and night out, and I see how much that they really want it. So I hope they want the same for me. But, you know, in that case, it is what it is, and it's nothing but love coming from me.
What have you learned about yourself through this whole process of just, you know, going to prep school, being at your third college program? You know, you take a little bit of something from everywhere you go. Like, what have you learned about yourself through this whole collegiate process?
One thing I've definitely learned is, regardless of the environment, I need to stay consistent with who I am and what I believe in. And at the same time, I know that when you have so many people come from different areas, different programs, different experiences, that you're going to have some conflicting ideas. You're going to have things that don't necessarily match up. But that's where the Hall of Fame coach comes into play. You know, his voice is obviously above the rest when it comes to understanding the game and understanding things, because it's not a mistake that he has this many wins, that he's a Hall of Fame coach. So it's just good to just come in and kind of hear how everybody has experienced the game and how they see the game, because even though we're out there as one team, each person sees the game so differently. And I think that when you get to know that with players and you see how others see the game, that just opens everything up for yourself, really, and you can see how it can connect and how paths cross and how we can get things going.
Yeah, for sure. So knowing what you know now, if you had a choice, would you rather kind of bounce around like you have, or if you had the opportunity out of high school to play at one program your entire career, if you had to choose, knowing what you know and everything that you've been through?
Honestly, I wouldn't change it.
No.
I wouldn't change it because, like I said, bouncing around, you get bits and pieces of different people's minds and how different people see it, and you can kind of pluck out the pieces that don't really make sense and don't really fit, and you can see how like half of one person's idea and half of another person's idea line up perfectly to create something beautiful. So like that experience, I wouldn't change for the world.
That's really well put. I like the way you said that.
Thank you.
So how do you think all of these experiences that you've had in life and everything will just kind of help you in the future once basketball is over one day? You know, all of this, you know, you've just said, like putting all these pieces together. I feel like that's probably going to make you a more, you know, well-rounded, you know, kind of guy in business or whatever it is that you're going to do, coaching, whatever, after, you know, your playing days are gone.
Yeah, I would say that it's kind of like it's a blessing. It is, because I've learned so much about people with coming into contact with so many different people. I've learned so much about how people think and how people react to different situations, and how far a relationship can get you, and how important those relationships are with people, because at the end of the day, we're all human, and if you have somebody on one side looking out for you, you can look out for them in return. And it's this world, this business, whatever you want to call it, it's ran by people and relationships. And I think once you get to understand people and you're able to sit and from a non-judgmental point of view and really listen to someone's story, you can really unpack a lot, and you can build an amazing relationship by somebody simply by listening to somebody and trying to understand them from their perspective.
Yeah. Oh, you're pretty wise, Trey. That's
Try
some
it.
good stuff. No, that's good stuff. All right, so we're going to end this. You don't know how I'm going to end this, but I brought a little game from home that I got my
Another
kids
game?
for Christmas. I know, another game, right? Did you win the last game, the basketball game?
No,
you're on the
I
you're on the
didn't.
losing
I
team.
didn't win
Okay,
it.
well, you have a chance to beat me here today. So we're going to it's a little game that I got my kids for Christmas. So I'm going to ask my lovely assistant Grant here. Thanks, Grant. All right. Have you seen this game?
I have.
Have you played it?
I haven't played it.
It's super fun. I was like, all right, I got it. I feel like games are our thing. So we might have to stand up. All right, so loser has to do 10 push-ups.
Okay.
That's awesome. Pressure's on. All right, you ready? Go.
That's not fair. She's been practicing.
Oh. Oh, see, now you're getting hot. Oh, no. I'm like legit shaking here. I don't want to do these push-ups. Yes! Yes! Get on the ground, do some push-ups.
We might have to do a replay because I'm pretty sure that hopped back from her side.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Oh, we got technicality.
But I'll
All
do
right.
my push-ups.
Okay. Well, hey, you want to do, here, 1, 1, 1, right? You do this?
We need a countdown. Somebody got to count us
Okay.
down.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
I still win.
All right, that's
still
fair.
win.
That's
All right.
fair.
All
I'll
right.
do my push-ups.
Do your push-ups.
Where I gotta do my push-ups.
I would have done mine just so everybody knows. Even in heels, I would have done it.
This is her game, so just know that she's had practice. The first time I've ever played.
But you did good, though. You did good. All right.
Where we want to do them at? Where's the-
You're here. I'll
Get
move
my
mine.
chair.
It's your workout for the day.
Oh man, wait till I gotta see Sean.
Just going to video this a little bit for some bragging rights.
You ready?
Yeah, ready. Do it. Okay. That's Tre Mitchell, and I just beat him at a game, and he has to do 10 push-ups. Had I lost, I would have done them. You're a good sport, Tre.
It was her game. She cheated.
I did not cheat. I just practiced.